Hi everyone, welcome to our roundtable conference over here on how to drive better CX and how you can improve engagement on Instagram. Uh, it would be great if everyone could introduce themselves. I'm Kripa. I handle client solutions for GUPSHUP, an omni-channel messaging company.
My name is Ekta. I am leading Instagram messaging for Meta.
Hello. Um, Hi guys, my name is Vinita. I am the founder of brand Cinnamon Closet. Yeah, and
Hello, I'm Swati Shri Ravikumar. I'm the founder of A Toddler Thing. We do sustainable baby products for the age category of 0 to 5.
Ritesh, SVP of Engineering at Redbus.
Hi everyone, my name is Akash. We made milk from oats and I'm one of the co-founders.
Hi, I'm Vivek. I'm the CEO for this brand called Being Human Clothing. We are a brand that deals in terms of products, fashion, in terms of mind space of consumption, conscious circle.
Hi everyone, I'm from Saraf Furniture. Name is Indachan Bhargav.
Hi, this is Jugal from Bombay Trooper. Bombay Trooper is an apparel and accessories brand focused on making travel-inspired fashion.
Hi, this is Mohit. I'm co-founder of Truly Desi. So we are into organic dairy products and groceries.
All right, thanks everyone. Okay, so a couple of great brands on board over here, some really good D2C brands. I'm sure all of you have great stories on how you all have really gone up and especially use Instagram to get better engagement and probably reach out to your niche target audiences. Like we have oat milk, which is again, a niche category, again, some conscious products, right? So I guess the normal marketing is not the way to go. So my first question would probably be, um, to you, Swati. What is your brand strategy on Instagram? Like, how do you all, like, I see you have 124K followers, which is quite a good number. So, how did you go about getting those followers, and what is it that you do to, make sure your Instagram does well and get better conversions? Or
Well, see, what we follow is the emotional quotient that goes along with the brand, right? See, we deal with new age parents who have a lot to deal with already. Like, even if it's say new parenting methods, even if you say if it's for mothers, it can be postpartum depression. They have a lot of whatever they have to deal with. So what we do is that we don't only like market the product in our pages. We have so much that's revolving around our brand. Like we have a lot of these community marketing that we do as well. We talk about a lot of problems that actually the parent deals with, like even if it's co-parenting, for example. We had an entire campaign that we ran around co-parenting. Like most of the parents came out and said that these are some things which is so common, like just by taking a water bottle and giving it to your wife when she's breastfeeding would make so much of a difference, but yet there's nobody talking about it. But when as you're putting it forward, and I'm so able to connect with it. So that connect is something which is very important, and that's what everybody wants. That's one thing. Secondly, people really want to see who are the people behind a brand, right? There needs to be a face for the brand, or even if it's a page on Instagram. Like that's what we believe in, and that's how it's worked out. When I go out there and I tell that I have used this product for my child first, and then I am actually like recommending it for you as well. There's a lot of parents who actually come out and buy from, because the first thing they used to ask me is, "Are you a mother? Have you used it?" So it's like, yeah, I am a mother. I use it on my child, and then only I am actually like recommending it for you. So I would really consider every child, like because we're dealing with a very sensitive category, right? So that's something again that we follow, and maybe that's how it's worked for us till now.
all right, thanks. Vivek, since you're one of the brands over here that has quite a few physical stores as well, how different is your Instagram strategy, or how do you tie it in with your store presence as well?
So we do two kinds of things on Instagram. One which is what I call the hygiene, which is talking about product. We straddle a very, very wide range of product segments and categories. And, when you're dealing with 5,000 SKUs in a season, you've got to speak about it. You've got to tell the consumer because, everybody doesn't land up at your store and then research on your product, right? So while you have a lot of stores, we're expanding, we're available in multiple places. That happens. So Instagram has been playing a product communication role on one side. The second side is where we speak from the heart, which is also our logo. So we speak from the heart in multiple senses. So I can speak about a couple of campaigns. There are multiple that we have done. Like last year, we did a campaign which was about real heroes. So real heroes. So Being Human is actually a brand that supports a foundation. Foundation is called Being Human. Being Human Foundation, by and large, works on uh, healthcare and education of underprivileged children. And healthcare is not your regular healthcare. Healthcare actually deals with a lot of cleft lip surgeries, which is something which is practically uncharted and untouched in our country. Uh, we did a campaign where we had a lot of craniofacial surgeons across the country who we support, a lot of teachers who we support, and they were the real heroes. So Being Human is about doing your bit to contribute back to the planet and society. So we had a campaign which was Real Heroes. Uh, at our stores, many of our staffs actually create content and that goes out on Instagram. Content of two kinds. One is about product reels, etc. The second is really a very unique thing that exists in our stores. Most of our stores have one specially abled staff. Most of our store managers know sign language. So a lot of content around that goes around. In fact, recently World Disability Day, which we as a brand tried to rechristen as World Ability Day. And if you haven't seen the campaign, you should check it out on Instagram. We spoke about someone who is a powerlifter, national champion. He doesn't have his legs, and he built it all out during COVID. And his dream is to really represent India in Paralympics. So we bring in those kind of stories. So that is really working towards the core of the brand. So we straddle these two routes and build product engagement through product stories and a more deeper emotional connect with the consumer, very very subtly talking about things that we do in the society where we work with people. So that's by and large what it is right now. We do the standard things of new consumer acquisition, etc. You track competition, you track your psychographics, and then you try and acquire people so that they can start following you and eventually land up at your stores.
All right, that's great. I'm getting a lot of personal and emotional connect with the customers over here, right? That's what you'll are probably leveraging Instagram for. Um, so Jugal, again, similar question. You're in the like in the accessory and clothing space, right? If I'm not mistaken, very tight, very competitive space right now, especially for D2C brands. So how do you use Instagram differently, or what do you do to stand out amongst the rest of the accessories and clothing departments?
Okay, so I think we were probably the most different brand when it comes to Instagram. I don't run any campaigns. I don't show my products. I use Instagram in its truest form. It started as a picture sharing platform. So we have built a community, a very strong community of people who just love sharing great pictures. And if you look at my Instagram feed, it's just filled with pictures. My product may or may not be there, but like nowadays I've started at least tagging my product. But essentially, it's not a product picture. It's a great travel picture that a user has shared, and my product happens to be there. So that's the approach we use.
All right. So more of showing kind of testimonials or reviews than just marketing your product to like
No,
get
just
that.
just celebrate the fact that people love sharing great pictures, and that's all we do.
I mean, that's what everyone does on Instagram, right? Initially.
Yeah.
All right. We have Ritesh from Red Bus as well, right? Very different company compared to everyone else sitting here. So, how exactly do you leverage Instagram? Do you use sponsored ads, or what exactly do you look to do for Red Bus on Instagram?
Right. In most of the geographies, so Redbus, while it started off in India, but we are in a few other countries as well. So we are in like Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, and a couple of Latin countries as too. So typically, in most of the geographies that we are in, we use Instagram largely for storytelling, right? So it's more about um, the different things that you can actually. Let's say, for example, the how audiences perceive bus travel in different geographies is actually different, right? So while everyone feels that, let's say in Indonesia market is very similar to India, it's entirely not so. It's totally different, right? So like for example, the engagement that we get in Indonesia to Instagram, to our Instagram, what do you call stories and feeds and all is off the charts as compared to in India, right? So hence the strategies in different markets is completely different. For example, in Indonesia, we do a lot of influencer-based marketing and all that. Here in India, it's a lot about storytelling. It's about educating. For example, a couple of months ago, we opened up a women hotline, right? So for women travelers who are traveling by bus in the night time and all that, right? So that was a story which actually got a lot of emotional connect in India. So it's more about that's how we use Instagram largely, and also as you mentioned about largely about also about advertising as well to reach the appropriate audience, and then of course user acquisition.
Thank you. Um, Akash from Oat Milk.
Hi.
Hi. Again, a very niche product, right?
Yeah.
So what I would like to know is, what use cases do you use Instagram for? Like your customers when they reach out to you, is it more for a pre-purchase question that they have, or is it on how if you have any premium services, if you have any subscription services, or is it more of post-purchase queries? So what exactly do you see maximum coming from on Instagram?
So we do have a lot of post-purchase queries because we do not do a lot of D2C or Instagram direct marketing, because I personally feel that we tried a lot and it's a very tough uh, market to do. Like it's a very tough task to do when your team is that small. So we're learning there, but we use Instagram a lot as a social networking tool. We use Instagram like how we use LinkedIn. Like we're finding new cafes, we're finding new places because we feel everybody is on there. The whole world is on Instagram right now. Everybody is there, and that's how we use it. We are there, seeing who follows who, what's happening, where do we find this lead, which cafe is doing what, and how do we get onto their menu. And so more of us, like more, we are doing a lot of business through Instagram, but that's all B2B. Like a different way to do it. It's all happening inside our message bots, not on our stories. And we do have a lot of reels, where we are showing recipes and all, but I feel our business partners are more like out there to do better job than us in our recipes than like what we would do. So we leave on to them to do that and upload reels on their pages. We use as a networking tool mostly, 90% of the time.
Okay, so I have an open question. Any one of you can feel free to answer it. How many of you leverage sponsored ads on Instagram? And if so, what are the kind of parameters you are looking for to track the ROI you have on them?
Okay, I think I speak for everyone when I say almost all of us run performance ads on Instagram, and ROI is literally just return on ad spends. Uh, Especially for D2C companies, it's easier. It's like an instant measure. I put 100 rupees today, I'm getting 500 rupees sale on the same day. So measuring that becomes quite easy for D2C brands. I think for other brands, things may be different. So ROAS is the metric even for you guys. Okay.
So here I represent a little different ecosystem because we have physical stores. So while we look at the ROAS and we look at what happened to my own brand.com with the Insta campaigns, we look at another very important metric, which is which we genuinely believe that a brand with our kind of core needs to look at is the engagement levels. Am I able to increase the engagement levels? Am I able to acquire the right cohorts? These are two things that we look at. And sometimes it's okay to have a bad ROAS if I'm acquiring right, because I know that in the long term, all these people are going to land up at the stores where we sell from. So this is, this is where probably the non-tech part of our thinking really comes into the play, where we believe that, you know, brands have no expiry date. So generations come and they go, and we have seen brands stand around for 150 odd years, like a brand like Levi's, which is where I started my career. The reality is that the stories that you tell, the cohorts that you keep acquiring, and the cohorts that you keep exiting as well over a period of time is what really defines your long term journey. And that's one thing that you cannot necessarily put a numeric metric to, but that you can see qualitatively over a period of time how your base is changing. What is you know beyond the demographic segments, what is the psychographic segments that is really on your page? So, and I'll take a very flat 30,000 feet view of one journey that we've been on. So this brand started, Being Human started off with the core purpose of serving Being Human Foundation, really. So when we sell, uh, we know for sure that somebody is getting helped out of the revenue that we generate, right? But the initial push was basically on the back of the celebrity, which is Salman. So, and Salman's following is huge. Salman puts out a story, and there's a million views. Uh, and till I joined, I did not want to believe it. When I joined, I actually saw the numbers internally, and I realized that it's huge. But over a period of time, one has started to see that the next gen, which is seeking more purpose, that acquisition is of a higher order importance for me, because uh, over a period of time you will see faces peak and faces trough, but the brand needs to be there for a longer period of time. So that's one key metric that we really track on our social, uh, not just on Instagram, Facebook as well. Facebook is probably not as hot with Gen Z today, but yes, there is a Bharat that still follows Facebook. So I'm sorry, I'm bringing in another brand into the conversation, but I'm just trying to give you a different perspective which makes sense uh, to population beyond the metro population, beyond a certain income strata and certain lifestyle, which is a huge chunk of India. Tier 2, tier 3 today is growing much faster, and that, if you're able to tap the right set of people in these geographies, and social is the best platform to do that. Any other form of advertising is not going to give you that kind of return, because it has to be ongoing. It has to be every day. I can't be on air every single day. So that's my two bit.
Thanks for that. Since we have Ekta from Meta here as well, so might as well hear it from the horse's mouth. What do you think of sponsored ads and how it helps brands? And if you have a few examples of brands that have actually leveraged this and done really well in different kind of matrix or parameters.
I think, like, to be honest, I want to first speak about the organic content, since I've been hearing you guys creating such organic content where you can relate to the users. So users are there, which is why the brands are creating this content. And there are a lot of ways in which they can come and talk to you. So 90% of the people who are there on Instagram, they follow at least one brand and they want to talk to them. When we have asked, 77% of them, they actually talk to the brand. And when you're creating this content, you're creating this USP which tells that how my baby is going to get a different product, or how I am going to get a different clothing, or I am going to get a different sustainable product which is there in the market, right? So that's the way to connect with them. But once you create this content, what's next? How do you keep on engaging with them? That's something which was not yet present as a solution. But last year we launched a messaging solution on Instagram as well, which is what I wanted to bring in perspective here, that once you create the content, they are there to engage with you. Just create that lifetime value which you spoke about, right? And that is possible through this messaging solution which we have now. You can talk to them, engage with them proactively and reactively both, and that is important. I was actually experiencing some of the products. When I go there, I don't get an instant reply. I feel that there is nobody to answer my queries. But if I get an instant response, I actually not only become a user to a customer, but also a propagator. So that's why we feel like it's an important platform to build an engagement which is lifetime there instead of just creating the content and uh, talking to the people. Coming to Instagram ads, till now we have been talking to our followers, right? It could be very restricted to the number of followers which you have. But how do you go and tap into that 1 billion conversations which are happening weekly? That is where ads come into picture. I know like ROAS is the main metric which everybody measures. That should be because we are here for money. We are not here for anything else. But lifetime value of a customer is also very important. So in the industry, we have seen brands who have built messaging solution getting great ROAS. So for example, there are smaller brands and the bigger ones which have gotten this result. One of the India's biggest bank, they have run these ads with messaging and they got 2x better leads as compared to any other social media channel which they were on. So that's a testimony of you can generate leads which are more qualified as compared to any other channel. Similarly, Starbucks Indonesia, they have got 6x better ROAS once they ran ads, but they mixed it with messaging automation. You run ads and there is nobody to follow up with the customer, that goes for a waste, right? The customer comes, reacts, talk to you, and then you don't have a way to connect to them again. Which is why we always encourage brands to build this strategy, have a good content, but engage with them constantly to get better ROAS. And that's how, like, I hope, like, I answered your question.
Yeah, I totally agree with her. Like, even if it's a pre-purchase, a post-purchase, everything happens on Instagram for us. Like, there's a communication, there's a two-way communication, which is always, in spite of sending them WhatsApp messages, in spite of sending them updates, in spite of sending emails and everything they want to get back to Instagram, where it's so convenient. They have asked for a product, we have sent them the link. They've again asked for the the tracking details. Again, we've sent them in the same messenger box, right? It's just like it's completely automated for our customers. Like, especially, again, I'm coming back to my category of audience where they don't want to keep changing apps and figuring out where to go and get it track their order, or even if it's a complaint. I get a lot of complaints only on Instagram rather than I get it on, like, even if it's a return, even if it's like queries, for example. Everything happens on, it's become more like a communication platform rather than, a place. Right? So I completely agree with you with that.
So you mentioned a couple of use cases, right? Tracking order, queries, complaints. How do you handle this? Like, do you have a social media person who does this? And what is the turnaround time like for a response? And yeah.
Yeah, so we do have CRMs put in place. Like, we have apps which actually have all the platforms in one place. So we do have Instagram, we do have WhatsApp and everything in one platform where our agent can like right away go and address it. But we tend to, like, shift it from Instagram to WhatsApp, because a post purchase is better communicated in in WhatsApp than in Instagram, because there are chances it might get, like, missed, because we have a lot of queries also. So there's a pre-purchase which happens there and a post-purchase which happens on Instagram, so on WhatsApp. We tend to do that, but customers are always keen on getting back to Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned this because if you see, Ekta just mentioned the Instagram business messaging solution. So almost every pain point that you just named right now, this solution solves it, right? Because one thing I heard is, of course, you have your team replying back, but what do you do when it's not office hours, right? So now imagine if you have a bot always available on your DM. So whether it's an FAQ, whether it's someone who just wants a tracking link, right? They don't have to wait for your person to reach out, find out what the tracking ID is. Everything is automated. Everything happens in real time, and you can manage scale, right? Um, So I have Mohit here from Truly Desi, and I see that on your profile you have the top 100 D2C listed as the top 100
Right.
D2C brands in India.
Right.
So how much of a part does Instagram have to play in this? And
See,
what
so
strategies have you probably used to get more conversions?
So normally we use Instagram for knowledge sharing. So we keep sharing content around safe food, organic food, why it is important, why today's generation need to understand the importance of consuming good and healthy diet in day-to-day life. So these are the things where our content revolves around. So at times we put some risky posts as well where I remember that we have put a post of paneer, of our own paneer, which was on the shelves of Nature's Basket, and it was spoiled after 10 days. So the the shelf life is 10 days, and we picked it back on the 11th day, and we shared a photo that it had fungus on the paneer, and we shared that photo, and we wanted to tell the community on Instagram that see, that's the product which has no preservatives, no additives, and that's why it is spoiled. And that's the reason why you need to switch to more perishable products and more healthier products than what you're eating right now. So we use Instagram as a knowledge sharing platform. And I believe that Instagram itself, it's a very big community, and we all are there to share updates on our lives, and we like to keep it that way, though we get a lot of engagement through Instagram. As he said that we all focus on ROAS, but we also have keep a track on number of saves we have on the post, number of engagement, the kind of engagement we have got on the particular post, if the post has been shared with multiple people or not. So that's where we understand that, yeah, we are putting the right kind of content on Instagram, and that's how we are leveraging it.
All right, thanks. Vinita from Cinnamon Closet. Um, Again, a niche brand, right? I'd like to understand or know how much of your maybe direct sales comes from Instagram. Just trying to understand, from all the sources, how much does this play in, and and how exactly do you use Instagram to go ahead and get these conversions made, or what other, let's say, use cases do you see happening? Like we had a few people on post purchase, we had a few people on queries pre purchase. So what is the use case that you see maximum on Instagram?
So as we all know, fashion is a very crowded space, and you have to form an identity so that customers can really know what your product is. So I think for that matter, Instagram has been the most powerful platform where we strategize our content into a ratio. Like 50% of our posts that go onto Instagram tell our customers that what our product is. So we create clothing which eliminates decision fatigue from women's life. You must be knowing, all of us, face this problem in the morning, what to wear. So unlike men who need to decide that, either a polo shirt, a polo t-shirt or a shirt, and they're like done. For women, it's like, oh, wide leg or culottes or skinny, or, we have to make I have to wear a dress today or a top or a, t-shirt, what would do? So we created clothing which is very elegant, timeless, and simple. So that kind of messaging we try to give to our customers through Instagram, and that has been a wonderful platform for that. But when it comes to sale, I feel the organic sales through Instagram and Facebook has been like really low, but the ads really pay off well. So when we run ads, we get good ROAS, and along with ROAS, if I go like more technical into it, so suppose there are multiple campaigns running. So sometimes the ROAS is same, but the cost per purchase is different for different ROAS. So we focus on the campaigns which are giving us cost per purchase, because as a bootstrap brand, you have to like really focus on profits. So we try to focus on the campaigns which are giving us good cost per purchase, and we try to scale up those campaigns. And when it comes to a messaging part, so customers are very unpredictable. They start the conversation on Instagram, but then they ask something else on WhatsApp, and then they send a Facebook message on Facebook Messenger. So you have to be present everywhere. You can't just rely on one single platform to connect with your customer. So for that, we have a different software, which is Delight Chat. So using that, all our inboxes are combined. So wherever the customer sends message to us, so we are able to reply using that software, and that is how we manage our messaging. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I have another question. Since we're talking about Instagram, right, social media, what I often see is many customers who might not be the happiest with your service, right? Of course, we see those comments. Right? Like, I think almost majority of the people at one point used to use Twitter to complain and tag their brand because they know an email they send to a brand will not get the turnaround time a tweet has, right? So we see the same thing happening on Instagram as well today. I'm hoping most of you have not faced it, but I'm sure at some point, maybe the product, or like you mentioned, right, the paneer, or maybe a service problem, a replacement they were not happy with, right? So we often see irate customers coming and commenting on posts and reels, especially they'll find the one that has the maximum views or the maximum comments. So how do you all deal with this? And like, do you all wait for some time? Does it happen real time? How do you basically deal with this?
Well, you're talking about posts and reels. I get comments on my campaigns. Well, seriously, they're so intelligent that they go around saying, okay, this campaign's done well. You have a lot of people who are asking for price pleases in the campaign in a sponsored ad. Let me go and comment on that. So trust me, there are people who do that also. But see, as a brand, right? You have to deal with like happy customers. You'll have to deal with customers who are not very happy with your service as well. So what we try to do is address the problem right away. We make sure that if for the first time they are actually coming to us through through a DM or through a mail, we communicate with them, and if in case it's missed out, we and they're really aggressive enough, we try to actually sort it out like by asking them for their IDs and getting in contact with them, especially because what happens is that we're in a world where everything happens like through a text. So the mode in which they're reading the, like, even if you're saying we're extremely sorry, they'll read it in a manner in which they're really against it. So we tend to call them most of the time in order to explain the situation, in order to explain the scenario, and however they are not happy with the product or anything like that. So that's something that we like cater to, rather than just continuing the conversation through a text. We would rather ask our customer care executive to call them in person to just understand where they're coming from. So that's something that we follow and we do.
So can I?
Akash and yeah.
So here, what we have done in our company is that most of the times there's a consumer who's irritated with you and writing comments with you or writing to you on your customer care ID is typically because of some product failure. And so one ground rule is no questions asked, return first. So if you're unhappy with the product, you bought it on full price discount, doesn't matter. So the customer care executive is authorized to just approve a return immediately and a replacement immediately. So that's one thing that we have seen is, you have a guy who's sitting on the other end of being irritated, turns into an ambassador for you if you sort it out right then and there. So that speed is really critical. I have seen cases where people have written very nasty email, I've lost faith on your brand, on your company, you guys are cheating us, and that kind of a language, to a very, very quick 15-20 minute resolution, and then people have written back saying that my faith is restored. So I think it's the speed and a very, very quick resolution. Most of the times the problems are very, very small. It never is large. I think here it is, the key is in empowering the guy on the last mile to say that you don't have to take an approval from anyone to approve a return or a replacement. The moment that starts happening, we have seen that come down drastically.
I think I can do a plus one where I have obviously not been on the side where I'm managing a brand, but I have heard a lot of brands saying that I want to improve the customer experience. And that's the way, like the way which they have improved it is obviously first thing is somebody has to reply. There are a lot of brands before we launch this messaging solution. Uh, they actually have to give a mobile phone to all their employees and they have to go log into their brand's account and answer back. It's a very tedious process and you'll need a lot of human resource to do it. But after adopting the solution, just by merely integrating this solution, they have improved their CSAT. And the bigger brands, when I say H&M and all, they have also automated this experience because speed is important. If I go as a user, say a nasty thing to you on your brand on IG or any of the platform, and your marketing team goes and launch a new product before even replying to me, I just go and blabber there again that you're not replying to me and you're going and launching a Instagram new post or a product. You can't do that, right? First you respond back to me. So it's very important to have that first touch automated. That's what all the brands have told us, to be honest, and it has tremendously increased their CSAT. Like just even like a one touch. Just don't go and launch a brand product. First reply back and then do it. They don't understand that it's a different team. They are not sitting back. They are just looking at you as one brand. So speed definitely is important. But ultimately, it's also important for your brand to be profitable. So we have seen brands not doing refunds, not taking it on us, on themselves, but still getting a great CSAT because they are acknowledging the customer. And that's something which is very, very important in this point of time. So be there for your customers then and there, automation, and there are features which can help you improve that CSAT score.
So
Can I add something? You know, what you said, profitable. When you grow scale, trust me, that cost is nothing. That cost of refund or replacement is practically nothing. Just build scale, and this is something that, you know, I can tell you because we built a certain amount of scale. We are doing okay. We are growing well. So I can tell you that, you know, you'll get probably 2 or 3 customers who are irated in a week. And that
You're
means
lucky
5
then.
to 10,000 rupees on crores of revenue. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
I would like to share a perspective on your point. Actually, we about a month ago, I switched all my communication channel to a bot, and basically I stopped every possible way for customer to write an open text expressing whatever the problem is to just bot-based buttons. Press 3, 4 buttons, and 90% of the queries are taken care of. It's making my life easy, but at point I also feel like I'm not able to give the personality of my brand because of this. Earlier, my people would call them, talk to them. You know, there was a connection. So it's got, you know, pros and cons, equal pros and cons,
Yeah,
I would
we
say.
are not saying that automate the entire experience. I hate those brands which do that, which don't let me talk to them. But yes, the first touch or the first few instances which can be automated to make me realize that, okay, you are there for me to answer the next few queries. I can ask you follow-up questions, right? Never go automated. That's
Even-
a worst customer
Eventually,
experience.
down in the menu, there is talk to human button, but it's like comes much later.
But yeah, at the same time, if you do an automation, you give them option to talk to you. That's the best experience which they can have. Uh, Speed, that's why automation comes into picture. And even if you want to build in some different use cases, right? Not every customer you want to deal is for customer support there. That automation could also have a number of options there. For example, I am a customer who is an irate customer coming to your brand, but Kripa is coming as a customer who is discovering some of the products, right? So you should have a journey automated for her as well. So there are different trigger points which you can define that, hey, if a person is coming as a happy customer, sad customer, there are emojis to define that.
Funny you mentioned that because I actually have a button saying I am pissed, and that takes it directly to a human.
Yeah, that's a great way to do that because then you can give a personalized response to them. Yeah.
Couple of pain points, couple of benefits you've seen from automation, right? I think one of the best things that you can get out of automation is handling scale and handling it in real time, right? And the Instagram business messaging solution is like having a chatbot on your DM, right? So it helps you automate all these use cases, all the way from, let's say, collecting a good review, a testimonial, or raising a complaint, or doing a recommendation for your customers based on certain questions a bot can ask. So how it helps is, A, it's real time, right? What time do we normally scroll on Instagram? Like at least for me, 2, 3 at night. Who is there at that point over there available from your social media team as well, right? But if there's a bot, and of course I'm in that mood of maybe shopping online, and I have the bot actually recommend bestsellers, the chances of that conversion happening are great. And another thing you can do is you can offer very targeted discounts, right? I'm sure all of the brands over here do offer site-wide discounts at some point, right? So imagine instead of that, you are offering a targeted discount to the person who's engaging with you on your chatbot. At least this happens to me whenever I go to Cred and I'm paying my card bill. Of course, you get some discounts, right? So if at least for me, when I know I get like a 100 rupee discount coupon from Sugar Cosmetics, even if I don't want something, I will most likely go and buy it. So offering these targeted discounts, believe me, actually helps in getting better conversions done as well. So Indrachan, hi. Um, I would, from what I've been told, you're into furniture, right? And it's again a family business, a legacy brand of sorts. So how has that shift been from the traditional to digital, and especially Instagram? And you have like the Pepper Fry and all of these guys as well included. So how exactly are you leveraging Instagram as a channel? And how are you, of course, managing a couple of these use cases or queries that you get?
First thing, I'm not the owner. I'm sales head from Sra Furniture. So I don't know about marketing, but we are using Instagram for daily update story and post also. And customer will contact on Instagram messaging. Then our team will contact the customer regarding what you want regarding customization, all things.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Um, Another thing I'd like to ask you guys, a lot of interactions happen on Instagram. I mean, in terms of when someone replies to your stories, or if, let's say, I tag you in a story of mine where I'm probably using one of your products, or I comment on a post where there's a new launch and I tag my friend and I say, oh wow, I'm looking forward to this. So, all of these interactions, how do you guys actually try to convert them into engagement on Instagram? Because I see a couple of brands that actually manually go and reply to a comment, or of course take a couple of hours and reply to me on my story. But what is it that you guys do to try to convert these interactions into a longer term engagement and eventually probably a conversion? Do you all entertain these comments as such?
I I've tried. I didn't get immediate response, so it was not worth the time of my limited resource that I have. So I stopped doing that.
It's funny that you said that because that's true, and of course, limited resources. Um, but the Instagram business messaging solution, right? It has this feature called autoresponders, where if as a customer I comment on a post or I reply to your story or I tag you in my story, this enables the bot to automatically send the customer a DM. Of course, you can decide based on keywords, you don't have to spam everyone, but that actually solves your resource problem as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So is that something you would like to consider doing? Because the reason why I'm saying this is a couple of brands that I've spoken to as well. They wanted a solution on how to get more engagement done. And they are like, okay, I have so many people, they reply to my stories, they react to my stories, they try on my products and tag me. They, tag their friends for sales that we've got coming on. How can I make the most from these interactions? Like, how do I engage with them, right?
So, see, I already have a bot on DMs. So when you react to a story, then it triggers the bot. But what you mentioned about comments, that's not something I've looked into yet, but I would definitely like to try.
I think that's something everyone should consider. It is a really nice feature that actually helps get a lot of engagement. Like imagine tomorrow if I'm happy wearing one of your products, and I tag you, imagine a bot automatically sending me a DM saying that, hey, would you like to review this product? Or let's say if I have a negative comment on my paneer post, right? And I'll say really bad service. So based on certain keywords, how would you like it if a bot sends me a DM saying that we are so sorry you had this experience? Would you like to raise a complaint? Or how can we help you? Would you like to connect to a live agent? And of course, this automation takes into consideration real time resource crunch, right, as well. Do you think that's something that can, yeah?
I would try any app which would stop people, or not stop people. I won't mind that, but it would reduce my work in the comments which say PP. Trust me, because I am done with PPs. Like in spite of sending them constant, updates about the product, there are a lot of people who are actually commenting on, this price please or PP or everything. So if there's a solution to that, I think my entire brand would be really grateful. Like
There
seriously.
is, yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a solution, and I'm going to catch up with you guys after
Very
this
well. I
roundtable for
would
that.
love to.
Yeah, so for the PP, I agree to her. That's the most annoying comment you get on, any of your posts or whatever you post. So for PP, the software that we use, there is an automated response. So we give our WhatsApp number over there. So if the customer really wants to know about the product, they have to take some pain to get to our, WhatsApp number, so that we also get the customer's phone number at least. Because on Instagram, we are not getting any detail, right?
Yeah, but then again, we have a couple of customers who want to be on that same app. They don't want to be shuffled, say, from an Instagram, go to my website, or send me an email, or talk
Correct.
to me on WhatsApp,
Correct.
right?
So in that case, we don't reply further because it's just a PP, and we have seen very less conversions when people send that PP message and actually buy some product.
So I have a question for both of you. When you do get a PP, which is for the longest time I had no idea what it even means. Do you actually give the answer or no? Because I use it as a strategy to not disclose my price until a person has come on my website.
Yeah, actually, we don't right away comment on the price. We just send them a DM. Actually, that's how we convert them, because we want them to come and land up into our website, of course. And we do send them the link only of the product of whatever they're asking
That
for.
makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Great to understand everyone's views on Instagram, how you guys are leveraging this platform to get, better sales, to get better engagement, to get more followers, and of course, conversion, something that all of us at the end of it are looking towards. One last note I'd like to leave with you guys is, of course, Instagram, we all know, is one of the most popular social media channels today, especially for a couple of the niche brands that we have on the panel here. Um, the Instagram business messaging solution actually really helps you in getting a better engagement happening, actually converting your interactions to some good engagement. It's something I would actually push all of you guys to try. We've got a couple of guys who have been really happy with this. We have got Sugar Cosmetics and all of that as well. Any last thoughts on for everyone here? Any feedback that you guys would have for brands on how they should leverage Instagram as a channel, and how it has helped you personally in your journey to reach wherever you guys are today?
I actually have a question. I just want to know, as a brand, how important is a verification tick mark? Like, how important is it for a brand as a matter? Like, I just want to know.
I
Like,
get this question a lot, and I think Ekta is the best one to answer it.
I think it's important to get the brand verified, just because even the users know that this is a brand which is verified by because there are a lot of brands which file the case of which file the task saying that, hey, some other brand is using my name. So it's important to get your brands verified for the users to know this toddler brand is for the one I am searching for. It's not somebody who's come up and used that Instagram handle, because the next day anybody can go and use that Instagram handle and people get confused, which is the basic reason to get it verified. There are no technical nuances related to this messaging automation feature which you were speaking about. It's not related to that, but it's good to have feature, to be honest.
why the question is that I'm really exhausted trying every 2 months and failing. So I just wanted to know, that's all.
I think but I hope it's not that tedious a task. Most of the brands. I think I can, the last note which um, Kripa said, that I think like the brands can use Instagram across their customer life cycle, basically from product discovery, engagement, purchase, and support. That's the best strategy to have in place because your users are there. If you are a brand which lives on pictures and communities, that's the place people are following you, right? It's the place where people want to listen from the influencers, from the creators, and that plays a lot of role in today's life. I don't want to buy a product without which doesn't have a social media presence, to be honest. If it should have at least reviews, some creators would have spoken about it. Even if I go and buy a book, I want to see that review. I want to actually see that book and see how people are using it. That's where I feel like the importance is a lot in terms of content and engagement. But don't leave it there. Leave it, go to the purchase journey. A lot of brands are building that purchase journey, integrating their catalogs, integrating the payment gateway. I know like everyone has their own website, apps where you want to do it. But trust me, when I am on Instagram, I see a brand, I don't want to leave that platform. I was there browsing something. I don't want to go to somebody else's website and make a purchase. But if there is an option doing it on Instagram, I can do it spontaneously. That's the inherent behavior of a customer. And obviously, the customer support is where you can build your reward points, loyalty programs, increases the lifetime value of the customer. That's a key which we have seen from the brands who are actually having a presence apart from just the content. It's the lifetime value of the customer which increases along with the product size. Um, just taking one last example, there was Erigo, a brand in EPAC. It's a lifestyle and apparel brand. Uh, they reached out to a different target segment on Instagram. They were able to increase and the basket size which they have to 1.3x, which they were earlier getting. So it's important to discover your new users, new target segment, which you can do it on Instagram through ads organically in any other way, but you have to complete that journey. So I think like that could be one of the strategies which every brand should adopt.
All right, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for this session, and I think our time is up. Thank you again, everyone. It was great having all of you.